Let us speak of Leon Scum for a moment. Leon Scum, I guess he has felt left out. So he felt like doing a little interview and preaching Satan, his daddy, yet again. For Leon cannot be out-eviled, can he? Only by one thing. Donny shitbags. But back to Leon. Leon is quoted in a clip from God knows what interview. The Nazi saluteman, the pedophile that is in the Epstein files, decides it's a good idea, for he is that douche. He is that worthless. After cutting aid programs for small children that are now dead, and many other things, thousands of people's jobs gone because of him and his Hitler Youth that he brought to the government and his AI. And after heaps of welfare from the very taxpayer he wants to steal more from and subjugate and despises. Do you believe it? Fat Leon despises us. Fat, worthless Leon, whose own parents cannot bloody stand him, that he must impersonate them online. He is that goddamn pathetic and worthless. After everything Fat Leon has done, he is now preaching the gospel of taking Social Security away from people. I don't care what his argument is. He is utterly of the devil and utterly worthless. He is naught but a parasite upon the society, a parasite unequaled by the amount of welfare he gladly takes. Why would Leon want to get rid of Social Security? Well, that's more money that could go to his fat, worthless ass. I want to repeat it one more time. The thing, the worthless fat blob of nothing, who impersonates small children and his own parents online, for no one can bloody fucking stand him. Hated by all. If he did not have money, he'd be in a cage at the circus, and small children would be poking him with sticks and mocking him. The thing that has taken more welfare than all the single mothers combined since the beginning of the earth, wants to now steal your bloody Social Security. As I have said, there is no redemption for these people when they end up in the lake, and the lake they shall end up. Have no pity for them. For the cunt that has taken more of your tax money than God wants to now take your Social Security. The cunt who has starved children and never fails to have his hand out for another bloody contract, in quotes, also known as goddamn welfare. He sure despises us. for taking all that money from us. It doesn't quite make sense. My God, if you sold pictures of what Leon actually looks like and looked like before the surgery, my God, he was a circus freak. A goddamn circus freak. He still is. He doesn't fool me with the surgery and the tailored clothing. When these people are in the lake, dare not pity them, for they would steal the last crumb from your plate. If given the bloody opportunity, and they are building this very society where they can do that. And it's a shame, you know, simply because of their interweaving with the CIA. I'm talking of Greasy Pete and Leon Scum. This is why we cannot get rid of them. They're utterly intertwined with the CIA. Therefore, they deserve heaps of welfare in the billions from many countries. We can't get rid of them because the CIA has their back. Therefore, I despise the CIA. What a blight on humanity these two pieces of shit are. Leon and the Grease. God will reward them mightily, I'm sure, with their very own place in the lake. And my God, do they deserve it. I could not believe, after all we've seen with Nazi Salutman, that he'd dare get on camera yet again to please Satan and himself and talk about taking Social Security away, calling it entitlement. Is it an entitlement, all the money we hand to your worthless fat ass? Why is that not called welfare? Your businesses have never turned a profit but for the welfare given you. You fat, worthless child, whose own parents cannot stand him. After all we've seen again with Nazi Salutman, I have to watch a clip of his fat, worthless ass calling Social Security an entitlement. We've heard this from the right-wing grift machine. I don't know if you've noticed, if you've paid attention. I certainly fucking have. Since before I was born, Mitch McConnell's life mission was to get rid of that and steal the money. George Bush Jr. almost privatized it. That's been the goal of the right-wing grift machine, to privatize your money. Gamble it, steal it, whatever. It's only your retirement that you've contributed to all your life. Why should you get the goddamn money? Marx. That vote for the very party and politicians that would steal it from you. It has been a cornerstone of the right-wing grift machine since, again, before I was born, to fucking steal Social Security. All this money sitting there, and the oligarchy cannot play with it, steal it, gamble it. Oh, the temptation is far too great. That is why, since even before George Bush Jr., they've wanted to steal that goddamn money. Leon preaching it outright yet again. It's amazing how, hand in hand, Nazism and the right-wing grift has gone along all these decades. And Leon, if I haven't made it clear, you are truly a fat blob of worthless parasite. You're worse than a 12-year-old, a pathetic 12-year-old who's never touched a woman, who knows nothing, just a stupid boy who pretends to be his parents online. To simply be part of the discussion because that's how desperate, sad, and pathetic his life is, despite what his bank account says, thanks to the socialists down here you hate. You goddamn welfare queen. There is not more worthless, more a waste of oxygen than you, sir. I dare call you sir, as if you qualify. I know about that too, Leon. You don't fool me, son. Anyway, before I even begin, I'm going to take a break because I did not mean to give a 20-minute speech on Leon Scum. I just wanted to tell him he was a cunt, and he will burn in the lake of fire in the spiritual realm. You know of it, Leon. That's why you wore the Baphomet on your chest. You're trying to avoid that. Have your heaven here. You will not, and you do not. Everyone knows you're a cunt, a douche, who impersonates toddlers and his own parents online. That's how pathetic he is. And preaches the gospel of Satan. Where else would you go, Leon? But the lake. I mean, really, son. You've earned it. Don't worry, Leon. I'll chat with you whilst you roil. It will be fascinating. I would love to hear your theories on how Hitler was who was a socialist, and how Social Security, the people that paid in, do not deserve the money, that you deserve the money. I would love to hear your philosophy as you roil. It will be great, Leon. We'll have such fun. That's in granite, son, by the way. In granite. Doesn't matter what you do to me. Irrelevant. That is still in granite. My fat, worthless child. Remember, Leon, remember, Greasy Pete, I told you before you made your chess move against Donnie that you would fail. I told you long before that Donnie had the blessing. Did you not fail? Did you not fail utterly? Leon, I described to my good audience here, whilst you were parading your child around in the Oval Office, preparing your big takeover that you've dreamt of all your life, backed by the CIA and a lot of socialist taxpayer money, you goddamn cunt welfare queen. You're worse than the worst you despise on welfare. You're worse than them, more of a parasite. Not that they are, I just know you think they are. You cunt of Satan. I told you, Leon, as you were parading your child around, acting as if the Oval Office were yours because you paid for it with socialist taxpayer welfare money. Of course, you've never actually earned any. Cunt. I told you Donnie did not like that. I told my good audience that Donnie had the blessing. And Leon did not. And what happened, Leon? I'm telling you this story for a reason, son, and I know you will hear it. My videos go way past the view counter. YouTube and the adjudicated criminal have proven that. I told you, Leon, he would get rid of you. And what happened, Leon? He got rid of you. In fact, you left high on ketamine and ecstasy with a black eye. With your tail between your legs. To the point you would sacrifice further your dignity by doing an interview where you were damn near in tears. Saying you thought you might not donate to political parties anymore. Leon, were you actually saying you weren't going to participate in the Reich you dreamt of your entire life? Of course not. I knew you were just venting, Leon, with that foot up your ass. Straight from the Antichrist, Leon, you effeminate cunt. You do not have the blessing. You are number two. You are nothing. You saw that as you left with your black fucking eye and the crazy man in sunglasses that I'm sure you know. I know you know, Leon. He told you in advance that would happen to you. Despite your praying to Satan every evening and your tribute to him and being the richest man in the world. A crazy man in sunglasses told you your bloody future. Multiple times. You, Greasy Pete, the couch fucking pedophile. I told all three of you your goddamn future. Has it not come true to the letter? I am telling you further now your future. Are you ready? The lake. The couch fucking pedophile. The fat, worthless Leon Scum. The leech on the world. Greasy Pete. Donnie. Mr. Rubia. Miss Bondi, Miss Gnome, Mr. Blanche. Who have I left out, Vlad? Mr. Nutlick, Mr. Besant. But the main four, the couch fucker, Leon, Donnie, Greasy Pete, I told you your futures. Have they not come true to the letter? So when I tell you your future is the lake, and those who follow you, remember how right I was before. I told the audience and you before what would happen to you. You would be gone from the White House, that Donnie had the blessing, and he did not like sharing the spotlight. And then you went away, crying with a black eye. When you made your big move with Greasy and the couch fucker, trying to tie Donnie to the Epstein files when you're all tied to the Epstein files. Except for JD, he has his own pedophile issue on the side. I told you, and the good audience here, you would fail, that Donnie has the blessing, that the devil would keep him alive. All come true to the letter. I said this before the things took place. So one more time before I continue. When I say your destiny is the lake, and that is granite, I would take that quite seriously. Because I already told you your future before. And it didn't kind of come true. It came exactly bloody true. Donnie has the blessing. No one else does. Anyone who tries will fail. There will be no Stauffenberg. There will be no coup on the other side with his fellow Nazis that want him out of the way. Your imp that you worship, silly children that I have mentioned here by name. He likes Donnie best, and he hates us all. But if he had to pick one, Donnie would be his pick, obviously. You cannot touch him. I told you that in advance. Remember that when you ponder the end of your existence. When you hear of what the crazy man said, I'm sure you have already. Anyway, this picture I used as a thumbnail yesterday, but it's just so amazing. I really wanted to show you the whole thing. It's got little Marco. It's got the ghoul in the background. Look at that, the ghoul. Got Donnie sleeping like every day. We see him on television sleeping while everyone else is talking because he don't care. He only likes when he's talking. Everybody else bores him. Got the Diet Coke is that on the table. Got cross-eyed podcaster passed the fuck out with a bottle of booze. I mean, this is amazing work right here. There's geniuses on the internet. Look at Rubio, got the fucking RX bottle. Got the Epstein files on the desk. Got McDonald's. I mean, they got everything. Amazing. Very thorough work there. Okay, DeSantis, further details on that alligator Alcatraz thing, the reasons behind it. DeSantis opened it thinking Trump would reimburse the $600+ million of Florida taxpayer money he spent on alligator Auschwitz. DeSantis forgot Trump pays no one, right? Just like I said yesterday, this is costing Florida $1 million a day, at least. And it looks like the detail I didn't know is DeSantis expected a reimbursement from Donnie, and that's always a goddamn mistake. That's Donnie's money. I keep telling people. The Treasury, the tariff grift, all of it. That's Donnie's money. And he's showing you that by stealing $10 billion straight up. That's between him and the IRS. Straight up $10 billion, writing it, scooping it right out. Exactly what I told you last year, before he won, what he was going to do. Dip his hand right in the Treasury, and I said, who's going to stop him? I remember yelling it. Mnuchin? Bessent? Who's going to... Bondi? She ain't even fucking there no more. So when he takes $10 billion straight out the Treasury, when he took the $1.2 billion for the Board of Peace, your money, dumbass. When he takes the $1 billion for the ballroom and pockets half or more, because that's coming too. That should show you that what I said before he won the second time, that he views the federal money as his money. That should show you that what I said was true. Because he's sure treating the U.S. Treasury and your credit card as if it's his. I mean, my God. Governor DeSantis is now backing plans to shutter Florida's state-run immigration detention center, concentration camp in the swamp. Because hate's expensive, exactly what I told you yesterday. The suffering that had to go on for this little fucking stunt. Any cunt that was about it, man, I pity your soul. Where it's going. You're not going to like it. It's going to be bad. For all eternity, bad. That's the kind of bad you can't fathom. I know. It's about paying the next bill. It's about the next plumbing job. Whatever fuck you got going on in your life. I know. That's all it's about. Okay, here's Leon again. Another argument being put forth that Hitler was a socialist. Because the right-wing grift machine since 1945 has been putting that in the faces of the rubes. They don't open history books. They know nothing. They don't care. They watch wrestling. They don't care. So when they hear their people repeat over and over, Hitler was a socialist, socialism bad, that equals Adolf. That's been in every Republican campaign that's ever been run. So when Greasy Pete and Leon and others are making that same argument, well, that just, again, shows you how akin right-wing nationalism in America is to Nazism. They're aligned, is to the Klan, is to racism. All those groups are aligned. They're about the same things for the same purpose. We can't equate Hitler and Nazism with fascism because that's what we fucking are. So we got to call him a socialist and equate him to liberalism. Make them the enemy evil Hitler, even though that's what we are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be saying it's them. You get how that works? So your right-wing nationalist movement since 1945 was naught but light Nazism. Straight up. All it was ever. Nothing more. and a fascist movement. And it's always been the right wing that has taken more and more of our rights away. And they're always making this argument. And I've been making the exact opposite argument for 10 years, every time I bring it up. The question you need to ask yourself is, why does the right-wing grift machine, people like Leon Scum, people like Greasy Pete, why do they openly in public make the argument that Hitler was a socialist when they know he wasn't? Because they're Nazis themselves. They ain't that stupid. They're making the argument for a reason and an agenda. So you don't know you're part of a fascist movement. You call liberals the enemy. It's okay to kill them, lock them up, and then the fascism takes over your life. Because you're stupid. And you helped it along. And you believe the bullshit. Hitler was never a socialist. If he was a socialist, like I said yesterday, there'd be a lot more Jews alive, a lot more Europeans alive, a lot more Americans alive. But this is, first, what did Leon say? Hitler was a socialist, therefore all socialists are Hitler. Says the guy who's taken more welfare than God, like I said. That would make him the ultimate socialist. Taking someone else's money. Yet, Hitler was a socialist, and anyone liberal or socialist is Hitler, but Leon's taken more welfare than any liberal ever born. Someone asked Grok, was Hitler a socialist? Let's see what Grok says. Let's see if Grok is smarter than the rubes. Because the right-wing machine at the top that's been yelling Hitler's a socialist in your face, they know he wasn't a socialist. You don't, because you're a fucking idiot. And you know who I'm talking to. No, the Nazi Party's name included National Socialists for propaganda appeal to workers, trade unionists, socialists. That's the exact argument I've been making for 10 years. It was to appeal to people outside of the fascist thing and get them on board. Literally what Grok said. Propaganda appeal to workers, but Hitler explicitly rejected Marxist socialism. They purged socialists, communists, banned their parties, allied with industrialists. Does this sound familiar? Jerk-offs. And ran a fascist system prioritizing racial nationalism and state-directed private enterprise, not class equality or worker ownership. Literally what you're seeing before you, the same exact religion, same exact fascist movement with the same exact priorities. You don't own shit. You're a slave. A percentage of the population will work for food in camps. I get it. They don't need an economy anymore. They're going to have a slave labor workforce. That's their plan. And it's obvious. How do I know? RFK Jr. is one example. Let's put drug addicts in camps and they can work. The phrase drug addict is the doorway to anyone who's destitute and poor being a slave labor worker in a camp. You cunts, I hate you who have made this. I hate that I have to explain this to sheep. RFK Jr. himself is a goddamn smackhead to this day, to this fucking second. But he don't want himself in the camp. He's preaching that other drug addicts end up in the camp. And that's been a part of the right-wing grift machine since Reagan, at least. If the word drug addict is next to your name, you're a scum criminal who deserves no rights. Fuck every cunt that's ever preached that gospel. May they die horribly. Then the T word came along and that took your rights away. And they running with both them footballs, son. That's why RFK Jr. can say out loud in front of people and get away with it that, yeah, we should put drug addicts in camps. Why? Because they're drug addicts? That's okay. To have slave labor because they're a drug... In the right-wing grift fascist Hitler machine, yeah, that is okay. Yeah. That's exactly what they're looking for. But, you know, if Kennedy's your last name and you happen to be a smackhead, then you don't have to go to the camp. It's only for the poor and destitute. Once we make you poor and destitute, which we're all in the process of right now if you're American. I don't know if you realize that. That's the goal. These people speak this out loud. A network of camps is being built. I rest my case. Let me explain very simply. I just gave you an example. They're driving many of us into the poorhouse intentionally at a much faster rate. That's the goal. They want a slave workforce. They want as many destitute and desperate that cannot function in the society financially. They are building that at light speed. That's the goal. They want to transition to the digital, the one world government, all of it. That's the right-wing fascist Nazis that want to do that, by the way. Who always have. George Bush Sr. gave the New World Order speech, son. Not a fucking liberal. They want us to have no rights. 24-hour surveillance. You got your wearable or whatever on your body. You never can escape the surveillance. They want to see inside our body for some reason. By they, I mean the Reich, specifically. Peter, Thale, Leon. They've had this plan for a long fucking time. These different factions. They all believe the same fucking thing. Plan's been around since George Bush Sr. at the very least. Which tells me it's been around a lot longer than that. Then it's been on our money since, you know, God knows when. I can't remember when that was put on. So it's been around longer than that. Technology just didn't exist yet. And their Antichrist didn't come along yet. Slave workforce, 24-hour surveillance, drones flying around, watching all of us and policing us. We have no rights. There are no more elections. Technocracy. Public executions. Drone executions. If you violate the rules of the Reich out in public, step out of line. Labor camps, like RFK cuntface said. And they want that forever. Of course, Donnie has his own dreams of being king of the world, which all the dumbass little Freemasons at the top that always wanted this, and the other Satanists like Leon and Pete. That's the monster that's going to get out of their control, and already has. That's what they don't understand. Just like in Hitler's day, a lot of people propped that up and made that happen. And they thought they could control it, keep a leash on it. All the top-level Satanists and Freemasons think they can keep a leash on Donnie. I ain't seen nobody keep a leash on him except Vlad and BB so far. And even BB he fucks over sometimes. when there's a good grift involved. He is a monster that will get out of the Rube's control. The Freemasons and Satanists at the top that fucking surround him, that have been waiting for this moment. He will get out of Vlad's control, BB's control, everyone's control, because he the fucking Antichrist. And that's in granite, son. Described as a beast, I've told you this many times, uncontrollable, unleashable. I don't care how arrogant and powerful you think you fucking are. You have no chance. Again, why the devil picked him. He's just as wild and uncontrollable and maniacal as the devil is. The devil is chaos and evil you can't fathom. That's what Donnie is as well. That's why the devil picked him. The devil gives him his seat and authority. Never forget that. The people on his side that want to bump him out the way, never forget that. And the rest of us out here that think, you know, maybe he's going to go away or die or whatever, or someone's going to plot to hurt him. Nope. Put it out your head, son. Don't bother. You will fail. Just like Stauffenberg did, and I love Stauffenberg for trying, but it wasn't time yet. The devil gave Adolf that seat. Hey, I get some water here. Damn, I gotta try some of these effect things on the side. I really like that rainbow thing where it just makes you all... I don't even know how to describe it. So, Grok has turned out to be smarter than the rubes. That was really the point I was making. The Nazi Party's name included National Socialists for propaganda appeal to workers. Did they seem like socialists? No. They seemed like crazy fascist monsters that wanted to take over the world. That's what they seemed like. It's such a shame that you, your daddy, your granddaddy ever took seriously that liberals and socialists are evil fascist monsters. When it was the exact opposite, son. It was you. It was your daddy. It was your granddaddy. You were the Nazis the entire time. And you are still today. That's why it's all over. They tricked you with that shit. And it was to subjugate you, not to invite you into the fold, you peasant morons. And now they got that dream, that plan that's probably been around for fucking, I don't know, 1,000 years. I don't know. They doing it, son. It's the devil's time. This that thing that was written, that all the documentaries are made about, those tapes you listen to, those YouTube videos with some preacher yelling about end times. That's now. No, it wasn't Barack Obama. I'm sorry. I know you wanted it to be. I'm sorry. You were wrong. History Channel was wrong. Everybody was wrong. It's the orange motherfucker with his shitty diaper, unfortunately. Believe me, I'm as stunned as the rest of you. I worked at one of his casinos. I told you. I'm more stunned than you, son. You wouldn't even believe it. Donnie honoring some soldier that was killed. I don't even know. He don't care. Nobody cares. What he said was astounding. Thank you, Janice. Hi, you look great. That's a beautiful hat. Who lost her son? Marine Captain Jesse Melton. I heard he was an outstanding. They gave me lists and they tell me about people. They said Jesse was outstanding, Janice. They have the word outstanding. Oh my God. Oh my God. What do I even say? Just keep repeating outstanding. She'll love it. That's what his brain's telling him. His syphilitic dementia, Adderall, cocaine brain. I thought this was brilliant. Someone made a video of a UFO going over the White House because they're going to release the UFO files. It's sad that it took a bunch of pedophiles getting in government and top of industry and us finding out about it and us wanting the rest of the files. Because what we've seen already is a goddamn horror show to magnitudes we couldn't imagine. So imagine what's in the rest, son, and what's been redacted and what they haven't shown us. I'm afraid to find out. It took that. Them avoiding releasing more information that the president's a goddamn pedophile. And other very rich and powerful people. It took that to release the UFO files. Can you fucking believe it? A distraction. They used to want to distract you away from UFOs if they're real. I don't know. That's always what the story was, right? Now they're using UFOs as the distraction from the fact they're all Satanist pedophiles. Can you fucking believe it? And no, it ain't the liberals, son. I know they said it 10 billion times online, so it must be true. No, it was never true. You're just idiots. Everybody that jumped on that bandwagon, just idiots. If you were smarter, again, back to this other thing, the Hitler thing, that the Hitler was a socialist. If you were smarter than that, we wouldn't be in the goddamn apocalypse right now. America wouldn't be over. The world wouldn't be over. You'd have a future. I'd have a future. Your kids would. It'd be great. At least better than the apocalypse and the Antichrist. But since you exist and you're stupid, and you believe shit like Hitler was a socialist, that's why it's over, son. Grok's smarter than you. That's fucking sad. Because that's how easy it would have been. A simple search in a library, a history book, going to real experts and not Fox News and the right-wing grift machine for their analysis of what Hitler actually was. There's YouTube videos you could have watched instead of Alex Jones lying to you and selling snake oil and saying Hitler was a socialist. You could have discovered the real history, the true analysis of Hitler, but you didn't. So it's over. So yeah, they made this video of this UFO going around the White House, and it's got a banner that says "Release the Epstein Files." I thought that was fucking so cool. Awesome video, whoever made it. No surprise, after Trump failed to reimburse Florida for alligator Auschwitz, the state is now moving to shut it down. Nearly $1 billion of taxpayer money, inhumane conditions, environmental travesty. Ron DeSantis built this, branded it, gave no bid contracts to his buddies, threw a party to celebrate it. Now he wants to quietly shut it down and hope no one notices. We notice, and every official who let it happen will answer for it. No, they won't. I'm glad they're shutting it down, though. I'm glad it costs too much, and I'm glad they have to shut it down. And that police state they want to build, having, 8 million mass Gestapo on the streets, that costs a lot of damn money, son. Who's going to pay for that? Nobody. So they're going to have a lot of trouble paying for the camps, the men to staff it, all of it. One state already gave up. Hate costs a lot of money, son. Subjugation, slavery. You also got to look over your shoulder. Because you never know, son. You never know. So Ron's got to give up on it. Got no money from Donnie, of course. He's the goddamn Antichrist. I know Ron doesn't know that. He just wants to be president someday. Ron's going to be in for a rude awakening when he's standing before the man. I pity him. I don't care why it's happening. I'm just glad the thing's shutting down. Because it was disgusting. It was an abomination. And it was also some fucking 5-foot robot called Ron DeSantis could be president someday. Donnie has the blessing. There will be no more presidents. I'm sorry. Told you that a long time ago. Joe Biden was the last president of the United States. I'm sorry. I wish it weren't so, but it is. These are the things I look for. These are the things none of you know about, or very few of you. These are the things that people don't think about. It's no big deal. It's stupid. No, these things are the point. These are the very things I look for. Trump called in MAGA religious leaders, dedicated the giant golden statue of himself at his Doral Golf Club. Religious leaders, you say, next to a gold statue of the guy I say is the Antichrist. Dedicating the statue. When I read that, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Dedicating this. What is that? Is that what they call worshiping a golden calf these days? They're going to try and say dedicating, right? No, you worshiping, son. Don't try it with me. I know exactly what you're goddamn doing. I know what this picture means. I know what all of it means. This is the shit the devil has led you people into. Where you get pastors that allege to be representing Christ and God the Father, who allege to be or have your best interests at heart, to lead you to the godly path, away from the devil. That's what they say they do. That's what they wear on their chest. That's the badge they wear. Meanwhile, so many of you pastors, I've talked about this many times, you leading your flock, your people, right to the devil, right to the Antichrist. How goddamn dare you? How fucking dare you? The man will not be pleased, especially with you people that know better, that study this information. You know what all this means, but you going along because it's on your team. It's part of your industry. The right-wing grift machine goes hand in hand with the church for the most part. Or there wouldn't be pastors dedicating a gold statue, son, if they didn't go hand in hand. I know exactly what I'm looking at, just like I knew what I was looking at on Assassination Day. Just like I knew what I was looking at when Donnie turned around in front of the press and said, I'm the chosen one. Those are the exact things I'm looking for. They ain't political. That doesn't belong in the story, little children. Lest it's a story at the end of the Bible. It belongs in that story, son. So why is it there? I know why it's there. Because it's a spiritual, supernatural thing. And he's of the devil, and he's the Antichrist, and he doing that shit on purpose, turning around and saying, I'm the chosen one. You think I missed that, son? I didn't. Him wanting gold statues of himself, him taking the Holy Land first, him best friends with Bibi Netanyahu. I know what that's about. That's about a temple, son, a historic moment, and putting your name on it. When he renders himself as Christ, I notice. That's what I'm looking for exactly. When he renders himself, son, as the Pope. That's exactly what I'm looking for. When he says in front of the press, I'd like to be Pope. My name's the first name that comes to mind. I know. Adolf, I know. Antichrist, that's exactly what I'm looking for. When I see a digital currency after 2 months of putting it off, because I know what I'm going to find. And I see an FFF on the motherfucker. A triple iteration. Just like the number. And F just happens to be the 6th letter of the alphabet. I know it's a coincidence. But for me, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Everyone else don't even motherfucking notice. These are the moments I'm looking for. They don't belong. Does this look fucking political to you, son? I don't know. Gold statues and people worshiping them, That don't belong in politics or this story that we live in right now. You know what story that belongs in, son? The Old Testament. One of the earliest stories in the Bible. Worshipping a golden calf. So, class, little baby children, why do you think Donnie's doing it? Because it's of the devil, and he wants you doing it, and he wants it in our face. It's his destiny. He's of Satan. That's who he worships. I've seen the tribute. This is tribute. This is worship of a man, son. Dedication my ass. That's what the Bible describes. The Antichrist and that whole situation, if you don't worship the man and his image, you die. They worship in the man. They worship in his image. You'd have to kill me to get me to sit in this congregation here next to a golden calf, son, of Donnie shitbags. Because I know what it means. You ain't just sitting there in a chair at a dedication. Oh, it has a much greater meaning than that. And I know that. That's why I'd never do it. Donnie in the press again today. We're almost 10 weeks since a missile hit a school in Iran. Who fired that missile? Trump. That's under study. We'll give you a report when we have it. He knows damn well it was a U.S. Tomahawk. We all do. Still lying about the dead. Still lying about killing them. And if there's one human on the planet that doesn't understand that he already knows that he killed those girls, yet he keeps lying about it, I don't know how you could be that dumb. There the Antichrist goes, lying about the dead again, lying about his murder of them. That's who you got your name on, son. Murdered a bunch of schoolgirls. Murdered a bunch of people down in the Caribbean. Murdered some people in the Strait. I think they hit a boat that wasn't associated with Iran. And they admitted it. Mass murder, pedophilia, rape, lies, innumerate. I fail to find the Christianity, the family values, all the good things you people say you're about and your party's about in any of this. I am seeing gold statues and honoring himself a whole lot and tributes to Satan, though. But I bet a lot of you think I'm wrong and you could teach me about the Bible, right? Oh my God, little children, you're so lost. There ain't a shred of good or decent in this. If you can't see that, you're just lost, man. I don't say these things about Donnie because it's fun for me. I say it because it needs to be said. And because it's true. As disgusting as it is. Mega cultists in Miami erected a golden statue of Donnie and prayed on it. That's a good way to put it. Trump called in to thank them for their loyalty. This is the anonymous account that I like the most. I think they've said they're a Catholic at one point, which was really surprising. Again, look at this. These are the moments I look for because they do not belong. They belong one place, a story called Revelation. These are the very things I've been waiting for. Then there's the proof of the Antichrist is described as a non-stop abomination machine out the mouth. I have never seen an entity or read of an entity in history that more personifies that than Donnie. Have you? Do you know one? Can you name one? I can't. And I ain't saying that because I don't like him. I'm saying it because it's true. And how Donnie is day after day, where he's got to say very vile and evil things throughout the day, every single day. When I read Revelation throughout the years and I imagined what the Antichrist would be like, that's exactly what I imagined from what I read. A non-stop, vile, blasphemy, abomination machine out the mouth. Personifies that perfectly. One of the criteria. So again, any human you listen to or yourself, you're pointing to someone, that's the Antichrist, this behind the scene, Jared Kushner, Pete Thale, whatever, this person, that person. If they ain't out in your face spouting vile abominations all day, every day, it ain't them. And again, the pastors. Your one job, man, point these people away from the devil. And you dare, that's a big, that's a big claim when you stand before the masses and say, I am a man of God, I preach the word of God. I will advise you, listen to me, donate to me, all that shit. And eventually, a large group of people start to trust you. And they look to you for guidance. You're supposed to be educated in the word and what is godly and what is not. And that's why they turn to you. They haven't studied it for years. They don't know it. They turn to you for guidance. You got the badge on that says, I'm the man of God. I have the right to preach to you. I have the knowledge. I have the training, the education. And I will lead you away from the devil. And then you're with a bunch of humans standing next to the golden calf and shit. Literally, that's why it was done. That's why it keeps being done over and over. That's why they show you a goat with $100 bills with a woman next to it who has way too much surgery. Where Donnie's name replaces the name of God on the bills. And Donnie's face replaces the face on the bills. That wasn't a mistake, accident. That was shown to you on purpose. Satanism, tribute to Satan, right out in the open in your face. That's been done by many different parties over the years. Now we got straight up Antichrist regime. Satan's a huge part. Satan gave him his authority, his seat. This is his time. They show tribute to him. The goat was one way, and they showed it to you on purpose. That wasn't a leak. It was ceremony. It was tribute. And that's what this is too. To a man and the devil's son. Gold. What other president wanted gold statues of himself all over the place and expected it? What other president took over the Holy Land? What I'm trying to tell you, convey to you again, none of this is close to remotely normal. None of this belongs in politics. The normal political discourse path this country takes, or any country. This is supernatural shit you're witnessing here. That's why it's being done. Being done for a reason. It ain't just a statue. The whole event of dedicating it, us seeing those pictures, us seeing a pastor next to the golden calf, literally, that's its purpose. What were they doing when they worshiped the golden calf? Worshiping Satan. Literally. That's why God hates it so much. Plus, it's another god. It's an idol. It's a nothing. Donnie will want your worship. Can you tell? Can you tell, son? Trump on hantavirus. This should really help you sleep at night. Give you a lot of comfort. We have it. We have very good people looking at it. It seems to be okay. They know the virus very well. Not easy to pass on. We hope that's true. We hope that's true. I could ask Joe on the street and he'd give me the same fucking answer. We hope that's true. Hanta has a 40% death rate. COVID had less than a 1% death rate. That's what I was yelling at the time. That I thought the panic over it was a bit much, but now that I look back on it, I was probably wrong, but I was right about the death rate because I calculated it out as it was happening. I came up with just under 1%. And I just read something recently that said the same thing. Just under 1%. Hanta, 40%. And we get everyone fired over the past year. Whoever's salary they could fucking pocket, they don't give a fuck. And we hope that's true. You're fucking doomed. So am I. I'm part of this horrid realm as well, unfortunately. And if I ask to be, I'm a dumbass. Because I hear that philosophy from a lot of people, or that story that we asked to exist, or picked our parents, or whatever. If I picked my parents, I'm a dumbass. And if I don't remember it, what good is it? Is the choice. God, I'm talking to you. Anyway, Jesus is talking to Donnie. Someone made this meme. And Jesus is consoling Donnie, and I expect This is a good illustration. I've pictured this in my mind many times with a lot of you out there. One, we'll all be crying in the end, but then there's the next thing. A lot of us are going to die. And when the man comes back, if you took the mark, well, you all going to die. And then we stand in before the man. And we realize what side of it we're on, because a lot of us humans obviously can't tell what side of it they're on. And I imagine a lot of people weeping and screaming and crying, and they will understand the weight of what they've done. That will be heavy. That will be tear-inspiring. So Jesus is telling Donnie, don't worry, you'll enjoy hell. All of your supporters will be there with you, yep. Lest you turn away, son. That's what I've been trying to tell you for 10 years. Someone put it in a picture. As a lot of you joke, mock, focus on me, not your doom. As a lot of you see this as entertainment, or don't think you're really in it, or don't take it seriously, or just going about your whatever you do. I know what's going to happen to a lot of you. Lest you turn away. I don't see that happening for a lot of you. People still cracking jokes. I don't get offended. I don't care. I'm talking about you. You're cracking jokes, but this moment getting closer and closer. And you best take it seriously. I've thought about a lot of you over the years. You think you're good, you think you're on the right side of things, whatever delusion you're telling yourself, kind of irrelevant. This moment is what's relevant. Where we all going? To this moment. Now, when you get to this moment, will you have a mark on your motherfucking hand? That's the real question. Because if you do, then you're going to be like Donnie here crying. Because you're going to understand what you've done and where you're going. And again, I've pictured a lot of you over the years. Little children still playing. And I think of you in this moment. Realizing that maybe I shouldn't have played. Because if you're playing still, as it all falls away and burns, what that tells me is the safe money regarding you would be on you taking the mark. That guarantees this moment. Let me show you one more time. You taking the mark guarantees this moment. You crying because you know where you're going. And you realize what you've done. And you realize what side of it you were on. No matter how you see it, don't matter. Matters how the man sees it. So one more time, I watch a lot of you still playing out there. Focused on the wrong things. And I picture you in this moment. And how horrible that's going to be for you. Because again, if you're still playing, it ain't my judgment of you. It ain't because I like you or don't, whatever, or what you say to me or whatever. You've done whatever. If you're not taking it seriously, if you still cracking jokes, if you still mocking, if you still whatever, that tells me again, your path is leading to the mark because you don't take it seriously, or you just of the devil. And you're not seeing where you're heading. You're heading to that edge of that cliff. And you're just walking. And you're looking this way and that way, but you ain't looking in front of you. And then you step off. That's once you take the mark. That's the cliff edge. If you take it, you're going to walk off the edge forever. It might feel good at first. Trust me, in the end, it will not be worth it. I've literally had this thought again about so many of you. Jesus talks about it being like a thief in the night. Many won't be ready, won't see it coming, won't be prepared. People still be partying, doing whatever. I don't even care about partying. What I mean is being on the path of not taking any of this seriously and just going along. If you just go along, you're going to get to a point where they offer you a mark and you're just going to go along. In the process of that, you will be going along with giving up your life forever. Saying to God, I am no longer of you, I am of this other thing. And there is no going back. That's why you're seeing golden statues and I am the chosen one and goats and shit like that. That's why you're seeing that. Because that's where this is going. Worship of a man who's always wanted to be worshipped. Leon too, he wants to be worshipped, but he doesn't have the blessing, sorry. Lesser blessing. I just can't emphasize how serious it is. And again, you know, I hope to wake up and see things that don't look supernatural and freaky and prove he's the Antichrist. And then I see a pastor and a congregation or a bunch of people dedicating a gold statue to the fucking Antichrist. When it's really a picture of people worshiping a golden calf. That's really what it is. And that's what it's meant to represent. It's done intentionally. Anyway, here's a cool picture. And someone made a little meme of this spaceship moving. And it says, release the Epstein files, you pedo. And I guess this is the White House lawn or something. I don't know. I just thought it looked cool. Yeah, the UFO files are a distraction from the pedophile files. Can you fucking believe it? Let me take one more break before I got 3 more before I do the last 3. Donnie's Mother's Day message. What did I say a minute ago? He's got to make sure he says vile, abominable things all day, every day. And he never takes a day off. What do you think? Do you think his Mother's Day message will be some sweet, normal message a president would write? Or will it be vile and abominable? What's your money on? Ugh. Quick water so I can speed read this. Trump marks Mother's Day with a true social post centered largely on himself, per usual, because Donnie all about himself, gold statues and all. Happy Mother's Day weekend to all, especially to the 115,000 Americans who found jobs in the month of April alone. Yeah, I doubt that's true. As usual, over 90% of Bloomberg economists, nearly all of whom have a terminal case of Trump derangement syndrome. For 10 years, we've had to hear this same shtick. Oh my God. Underestimated the strength of the Trump economy. The economy is shit, and we all know it. And the indicator is the high gas prices. The high prices of fucking everything. The sky is purple, right, Ropes? Because he's spouting the exact opposite of reality, and you fucking know it. Despite the best efforts of Jerome, too late and won't leave Powell. Yeah, Jerome, Big Bad Jerome's like, I'm going to stay for a while, even though my tenure's up. I think he might have said until this case is resolved or something. Look, again, little children, what'd I tell you? I said Big Bad Jerome like a 99th level Freemason. If the highest is 33, he a 99th, motherfucker. That's why Jerome can say, in the face of the Antichrist, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm gonna stay for a while, fuck you. Because he got that kind of clout, son. He had put a case on him. Jerome got so much clout, he dodged the case. And he said, you know what, fuckface? I think I'm gonna stay for a while. Because I'm Big Bad Jerome and you ain't shit. Even though the devil picked you. That's how much clout Jerome got. I told you, son. That's why it's not just too late, Jerome Powell. It's too late and won't leave. That's all he can do is cry like a bitch on social media. He's the Antichrist. He's the president. He's a mobster. Jerome got so much clout that he just says, fuck you, I'm going to stay for a while. I tried to explain to you the kind of power that man had and the kind of power it takes to get to the chair of the Federal Reserve. You don't just get there by accident, son. Oh my God. The president's a bitch in comparison to the person that gets that position. In normal times, I ain't talking about the guy Donnie picked for it. Too late and won't leave Powell and the American-hating Democrat Party. It's a Democratic Party, you fucking hillbilly illiterates. More Americans are working today than ever before. Happy Mother's Day, and know that we are making America wealthy and safe again. What did I tell you it means when Donnie says America? It means me. Let's read that sentence again. We are making me wealthy and safe again. President Fuckface. That's what he really means, because he's getting real wealthy. And then he's taking your money straight out the Treasury to pay for all his pet projects in D.C. for his front lawn. To the tune, I don't know, $15 billion. A lot going to go in his pocket of that. You abject marks. So the safe money would have been on all abominable blasphemies and abominations. That's Donnie. Exactly how the Antichrist is described. And when I read it, before Donnie came on the scene. I pictured someone that would be all day. It wouldn't be a little bit. It wouldn't be kinda. It'd be all day, every day, nothing but abominations coming out. Every holiday, Mother's Day, it doesn't matter. We've seen this for 10 years. He does this on purpose. He's a sadist. He's a scumbag. He wants to spread chaos and misery. That's what he is. He hates everyone and everything. He hates himself. And once again, Jerome got so much clout, even though he knows the Antichrist wants him out of there, even though he knows he's the president, he knows he put a case on him, he's still so powerful, he's still so badass, he's like, I'm gonna stay for a while. I remember when they were standing next to each other in the new Federal Reserve, the renovation, again, and Donnie looked so small. Again, it was like Donnie was standing next to the principal or something. And he's all hunched over, and he's dreading the moment when Jerome says, can I see the papers? And Donnie says something like, yeah, the numbers went up a little bit. And Jerome's like, what? What's that about? So Donnie hesitantly hands over the papers. And Jerome says, oh, you added this other building that's not supposed to be added in here. Again, he caught Donnie mid-grift adding value to a project because Donnie is a mobster, and little children, when mobsters are involved, I'm talking about real mobsters, when they're involved in a construction project, and I mean any project, extra value will get added on the front end. So when you go to the bank or whoever, the investors, the bank, we need this much money. A percentage of that money goes right in your motherfucking pocket. The rest goes for the project. If you're Donnie, when the project's done, you don't even pay the bill. You threaten to sue, or you say you're going to pay 1/3. A normal mobster might actually pay, though, but he's going to pocket as much as he can. Donnie's been a mobster from the day he was born. That's what he was taught to be. So every construction project that Donnie's ever been involved in, including the ones while he was president, value will be added, money will be put in his pocket, including the ballroom and all that. Every single time, even the Federal Reserve, he tried it on. And Big Bad Jerome caught him mid-grift trying to add value to a project so he could put the money in his pocket. Then when Donnie came back with his case against Jerome, he tried to cite the cost overruns on the Federal Reserve. Renovation. Just like the devil, just like Vlad, just like Donnie, just like the right-wing grift machine, point the finger at everyone else, accuse them of what you're doing, and remember the right-wing grift machine and all their podcasters and liars pointed to liberals and said they were pedophiles. Therefore, who are the pedophiles? We know the answer to that question now. They were always the fingers they were pointing. That's why they pointed them. On June 16, 2025, Trump announced a new Trump phone available for pre-order. You goddamn marks. I saw some hillbilly motherfucker on camera. He ordered 3 of them today. He's yelling his ass off because he realizes he's been fucking had. He's like, I talked my son into buying a few. I bought 3 of them. You knew better, son. $100 pre-order towards a $500 phone. To date, he's received 590,000 plus pre-orders, taking in an estimated 59 million in sales. I told you he took in 500,000. I was way off. This is the best part right here. This, son, is why your country's over. After all you've seen, too. Enough of you rubes. 590,000 of you. After all the grifts you've seen, all the lies you've watched this motherfucker tell, you actually ordered one. That's why it's over, son. Last month in April, Trump updated the pre-order terms, stating there is no guarantee a phone will be produced or sold. I read that to you yesterday. And I thought to myself, now if that was in the fine print when they first ordered, that doesn't make sense. A lot of people probably wouldn't have ordered. So Donnie added it later. What are you going to do? Sue him? He's the president. You fucking marks. Just like your wall money with Colfage and Bannon they pocketed it all, you fucking idiots. And I told you in advance, when Colfage started getting all that money, all of a sudden you see names like Steve Bannon and like two other dudes high up in the, right-wing grift machine want to get involved. Then what happened, class? I explained the whole thing to you at the time. Colfage turned it into a foundation. And what happens with a foundation, little children? You should know. We went through it all with the rock star stuff. We had fun with it, remember? We learned all about it. You have to get a staff together, an executive staff, that get big, fat fucking salaries. And I told you at the time when I did the videos when Colfage announced, it's a foundation now. And whispers of names like Steve Bannon. I said, what's the one way you could access a bunch of charity money? Think of the Chris Cornell Foundation. Or the Chris and Vicky Foundation, is it called? I can't remember. A bunch of people donate money for a cause. How do you get your grubby hands? How do you weasel some of that money? You take an executive position on the board of the foundation, and you hire others for those nice cushy positions. And now you can take a salary. Now you can dip your hand into that account with that money. And I told you literally, when Colfage and Bannon made it a foundation and Bannon jumped into the pile, I told you this literally. How do you get your hands on the money? Form a foundation. Exactly what they did. They stole all the money. Bannon went to prison for it for a minute. Donnie's phone grift. It seems in the right-wing grift machine, you rubes, you patriots, you Christians, you family conservatives, you have a lot of grifters that rob you fucking blind. And then you vote for them again, and you still listen to their podcast after they stole your goddamn money. Straight up. It's amazing. You got grifted on the wall, son. You got grifted on the phone. I could do this all night. This is why it's all over. You walk towards the grift and you beg for more. You walk towards the devil, you beg for more. Where else can it go but the abyss, son? So in April, Donnie updated the pre-order terms, stating there is no guarantee of... In other words, fuck you. Thanks for the money. Fuck you. This is beyond grifting. Yeah. It's actual theft. And the Trump phone, which will never happen, is the perfect representation of the Trump presidency. Yeah. Everything's a grift or a lie. Every single thing. Worse, they want to enslave us all, and they're building the surveillance state to do it, and he's the Antichrist, and the beast system, and all that, and yeah, it's all going to happen. It's happening right in front of you. Notice St. Alex Jones, it ain't 30 years ago. No, I'm sorry, I don't sell snake oil. You're really in it this motherfucking time. No, it wasn't the liberals, I'm sorry. It was you. A bait and switch scam, he stole their money and told them the crime. Yeah, he told them, fuck you. You add a year later or whatever, however long after these people bought these phones, you add into the terms of their pre-order just out of nowhere. Oh yeah, we don't really have to make a phone or sell you anything, but thanks for the money, cunts. And no, you won't find anything about refunds in the fine print, so fuck you. That's the contempt the devil has for all of us, and you, Rubes, that's the contempt the Antichrist has for you. You're nothing but a mark to steal from. For Leon, for Greasy Pete, you're nothing but a mark to steal from. You've handed these people the reins of power forever. You will never get your country back. It is over. That's what you've done. Much worse, you've ushered in the apocalypse and the alleged return of Jesus Christ, which will result in millions of you dying. In millions of us dying along the way. I didn't want it, son. And I'd love to be wrong more than you want me to be wrong. That's how bad it is. By bad, I mean that's how bad the consequences of your choice will be for all of us, including you. Oh, this is the actual pastor, Pastor Mark Burns, who is of the Synagogue of Satan. Here's his account. Let's take a read. Today at Trump National Doral, Miami, history was made. History, you say? I was deeply honored to lead the dedication event for President Donald J. Trump and the unveiling of the 22-foot statue created in his honor. Well, it was unveiled before the tournament started. So why do we need this event? To make it look like other people put it there? When we know it was Donnie's idea? No actual human said, let's make a gold statue to Donnie. We all know where that idea came from. Dedication event. This was far more than a ribbon cutting. I know, Pastor. I'm about to explain it to you in a minute. It was a moment of gratitude, honor, and remembrance. I know. I know. Let me say this plainly. This is not a golden calf. Oh, Pastor, but it is. That's the problem. We worship the Lord Jesus Christ and Him alone. It doesn't appear that way, son. The statue is not about worship, it is about honor. Oh, actually it is. Quite about worship. It is a celebration of life and a powerful symbol of resilience, freedom, patriotism, courage, and the will to keep fighting for America. Well, now you sound like one of the rubes who puts Satan on a flag and then says this. It also reminds us of the hand of God. No, oh no, it doesn't. No. It's meant to remind us of the devil and to glorify his Antichrist. That you may worship him. Literally. If he's about to go in, because I don't have the rest of the statement, because why bother? I assume he's about to go to, God, the hand of God saved him on fake assassination day. When he, like everyone else, knows it was fucking fake. This man stated the exact opposite. He inverted reality. I don't care whether he knows it or not. And he did the exact thing the right-wing grift machine Christians have always done. They've equated Jesus Christ with anything, with America, by saying things like this: a powerful symbol of resilience, freedom, patriotism, courage, and the will to keep fighting for America. No. That's not what a gold statue of a living, sitting president is, and we all know it, Mr. Pastor. What's your name again? Pastor Mark Burns. Pastor, you've read the word, and you felt the need, because you've read the word and you know what the truth is, you felt the need to paint it in the opposite light of what it is, because you know what you're doing and how it looks, so you felt the need to address it. Let me say this plainly: this is not a golden calf. We worship Christ and him alone. No, you don't. How fucking dare you say that? As you standing next to the golden calf, motherfucker. And you endorse it. And you say it's somehow about America and patriotism, and you're throwing Jesus in the mix. You worshiping a goddamn gold statue. Why a pastor need to be there? Why is the Church of Christ, in quotes, because this church this man belongs to, oh no, if you in it, get the fuck out. Run away from this man or anyone near him as fast as you motherfucking can. Because I wouldn't pretend for any amount of money, any amount of prestige, to preach in front of people on camera, to be a famous preacher, whatever he trying to do here. Ain't no way you get me to stand next to a gold statue in front of a group of people sitting down. So you can take a picture that looks like us worshiping a golden calf. Get the fuck out of here. I would never take part, son. You got to be kidding me. I mean, look, these ceremonial things we are seeing, these tributes to Satan, they are done intentionally. They involve the church intentionally. None of this is mistake. Some of these preachers want to get near fame so badly, they are willing to stand with the Antichrist and stand next to a gold statue and say it ain't about worshiping it. That's the whole reason the picture was taken. That's the reason the statue was put there. It's tribute to Satan, getting the church involved even worse. Donnie knows what he's doing. So do these pastors. He even felt the need to write it out. I didn't read this whole thing earlier. I just read the first few sentences. I didn't realize he literally felt the need to say, we're not worshiping a gold. That's not a golden calf. The man would beg to differ, son. You know damn well it's a golden calf. That's why you wrote that it wasn't. You know damn well what that picture looks like. You worshiping a golden calf with a bunch of people when you're supposed to be a man of God. That's what you claim. I don't write pastor next to my name. You the one claiming it, son. For 10 years I've been watching this. And a lot of other people that don't even believe in God, seeing the same thing I'm seeing. A good percentage of the church going along with Satan, going along with the Antichrist, doing things like standing next to goat statues with Donnie's face on it and name replacing God, doing things like standing next to gold statues with a congregation before you. I've given this speech a few times. Pastor Mark Burns is the synagogue of Satan. I just want to say that straight up. And that's obvious. This is some perilous shit he's fucking with right here. And he leading other people to it. Dangerous. There's a reason that story's in scripture. There's a reason it's being repeated now. By the Antichrist. The most egregious insults to God will be done, are being done. Eventually he'll do the big one. The abomination of desolation. And then God gonna go buck wild. And then you'll all get it. You'll be like, oh shit, yeah, we are in the apocalypse. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is the apocalypse. Yeah, yeah. That gold statue, the pastor there, that's just another stop on the journey to that abomination at the end. All of the greatest insults to God. That story is one of the earliest insults to God in the Bible. That golden calf. The God of gods helps his people, the Jews, escape slavery in Egypt. They shouldn't have been able to escape. They had no weapons, no army. They were slaves. They escaped because of the plagues. God sent that let the Egyptians know, yeah, you better let my people go. Or you all die. So they let them go. And God sustains them in the desert and gets them. And then they say, fuck it, let's just go back to Egyptian practice. Let's just worship this golden calf. Freemasonry has all the Egyptian symbols. Freemasonry's all into, Solomon summoning demons and shit. Because he got into that. He fell hard, man. In many ways. As wise as he was. Wiser than all of us. Most wise. Even they fall, though, don't they? So don't feel bad. Because he fell real fucking hard. So God saves his people and they decide, fuck it, golden calf. Who needs this God person? It's just not going that well. One of the earliest, most offensive things to God in Scripture was that. Then this monster comes along and wants gold statues of himself all over the place. A few months into his fucking second term, we see a video of gold statues of him. Son, where? On the Holy Land, son. And it was a joke. Just like that gold statue isn't a golden calf. Right, Pastor Burns? Right? I'm glad I have the knowledge that many don't, or I might believe your lie. And I might not know you are the synagogue of Satan, son. But I do know. And Mr. Burns, you might as well be one of those Jews that just escaped Egypt as Moses is up on the mountaintop getting them commandments. And you the dumbass. You're the religious leader in the group. And you telling them, yeah, let's melt that gold down. Let's make that calf. Let's worship it. That's you, son. And you acted it out, son. Oh my God. That's what Donnie wanted you to do. Then again, a lot of these pastors, church leaders, they Freemasons. I found that out. Several ways. You should know this. You cannot be a Christian and a Freemason at the same time. Freemasonry is about Lucifer, and everyone knows it. And the vows and all that make it obvious, and the symbols make it obvious. You can't worship the devil and Christ at the same damn time. So if you a churchman, a lot of you I saw buried in cemeteries, and I saw your obelisk, and it said Pastor something something on the obelisk. Boy, is that a contradiction. So, maybe he is Satanist Freemason. I don't know. If you any Christian pastor and you're in a member of the then you're Satan. That's simple. You can't be a disciple of Lucifer and a disciple of Christ. It does not work that way. So if you're a Freemason and you dare claim you're a Christian or a pastor, you are not. You are a Satanist, whether you understand it or not. I don't care. If you a pastor with a congregation in front of you next to a golden calf saying, and you feel the need to explain to us because you think we don't know better, son, that it wasn't a golden calf and it's not about worship when it's literally you worshiping the golden calf, then you're Satan. That's simple. Mr. Pastor Mark Burns is the most perfect example of the synagogue of Satan I've ever seen. I don't say that term often. He's literally it. He's telling his people it's okay to worship that. And he had a dedication ceremony of a golden statue of the living sitting president of the United States. And he wants more. He wants one on the Holy Land. He wants one in Venezuela. Remember? An economist in the cabinet was talking about gas prices, and Donnie interrupted and said, fuck that. What about my statue in Venezuela? When's that going on? You remember that? Gold, of course, son. What else would it be? These are the moments I look for. These are the moments I expected. And in Revelation, when they say, even the elect will be deceived, you witnessed it. The church going along with the Antichrist, voting for it, preaching the right-wing grift machine their entire lives, all Satan, every bit of it. That's not the real church. They fake asses. They were never Christian, son. They were never of Christ, lest they turn away. I don't see them turning away. I see pastors next to gold statues, next to golden calves, begging the world to believe that it's not a golden calf and they ain't worshiping it. I don't believe you, pastor. I'm sorry. Fuck off. back to Satan. So when, just like how I thought the miracles would be real miracles, I also thought, well, wait a minute, how's that work? The elect are deceived, but then there's these people that the Antichrist persecutes. Wouldn't they be the elect? It didn't make sense. It makes sense now. The elect should have been in quotes. The miracles of the false prophet and the Antichrist should have been in quotes. The devil, everything is false. He can't be omnipresent. He can't do miracles. So it makes sense that they were false. It makes sense it was modern technology and staging. It makes perfect sense. It also makes sense to me, a pastor worshiping the statue, going along. It makes sense that now that when it says the elect will be deceived, well, it wasn't the real elect. That's why the ones they're about to kill and persecute, the real church, they are the true elect. That word elect should have been in quotes. The ones that will follow the Antichrist. And that's the part of the story that made it so confusing. Those two parts, actually. And I always pictured the head wound again. Some Pope-like figure in D.C., I pictured it, gets shot in the head, goes down. Everyone thinks he's dead, including me. And he just gets up like it was, and it literally heals like a real wound that would kill a person. A bullet in the skull. And it would just heal. And shivers would go up my spine for the next year. That's what I expected. We didn't get that. We got a falsehood. But it makes sense. And the elect thing to me makes sense now. I get it now. A good part of people that in front of you wear the badge. We are the church. We are the Catholics, the Christians, blah, 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 blah. We're the institutional church that goes hand in hand with the right-wing grift machine always. They all went along until they lost their house or their job or whatever. None of them turned away for the right reasons. So before all of you, the people all of you out there would point to and say, they are the church. The ones that hate the church, they're a convenient excuse for you to bust on the church and God. And you can point to those hypocrites and mock it all as if it's not worth, your attention, your participation. It's an easy excuse for you people. I see it all the time. But they are not the real church. That's the problem. There are real Christians that have been appalled by Donnie since he came on the scene in 2015. Christians that understand what the book said. Are those people perfect? No, that's not what I mean. Can they recognize what's of the devil and not literally put a mark on a body? Can they understand all the abominations that come out of the right-wing grift machine and Donnie's mouth and what they do? And see it as evil? Yes, they can do that. They're the ones, that'll get persecuted, beheaded, all those horrible things. The people that are against the Reich. Those are the real Christians. Some of you don't even know it yet. But you are. Not the ones that go around with the badge on their chest, that walk hand in hand with Satan and the right-wing grift machine. They are not the real Christians. If they were, son, they wouldn't take the mark when that comes around, and they wouldn't be following the devil and the Antichrist right now. So in Scripture, when you read that part, the elect, that should be in quotes, that they'll be deceived. Even they get deceived. Well, of course they get deceived. They're all of Satan too. They always were. They ain't the real church. Anyone of the real church, anyone truly of Christ, whether they know it or not, would hate Donnie, would be appalled by it all, would be disgusted by it, would want to run from it. If that is not your reaction, and you ain't a Christian, son. You something else. So we got a pastor doing a worship ceremony next to a golden calf. Literally, that was the purpose of it in Donnie's eyes. I don't know if the pastor knows that. He just wants the clout and prestige. Golden calf right in your face. There will be more. Not normal, not part of politics. None of this is normal. He wants his face on Rushmore. He wants to be Pope. He rendered himself as Jesus. He puts gold statues up of himself. He has pastors do blessings on him. None of this is remotely normal or political. It's evil. Don't take the mark. Have a wonderful evening.